Whether you're wishing someone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, or Happy Holidays, there's two words we need to remember this time of year and all year long. Be nice. We have Christy Buck from the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan, along with Jeff Elhart and Rick Fritz in studio with us today. Welcome, everybody. It is all about be nice, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, it is.
It is naughty nice.
Naughty nice. So, Christy, let's start off. It is the holidays. I know sometimes for some people it's a difficult time. And, you know, what should people know at this time of year?
You got it. And it is a time where, yes, people might be experiencing sadness at times. Many times that is with the loss of a loved one. So whenever somebody has lost someone, this could be very difficult, especially when it's the first round of celebrating holidays without that person.
Yes.
People often think that suicide is at an elevated height at this time of year, and that actually is a myth.
Okay.
So what we know is that people embrace those and help them, and might be doing volunteer work for certain organizations that focus on mental illness and depression, suicide prevention. But really, it's before the holidays and following the holidays that people are more at risk.
Now, today I know we want to talk about men and sharing our feelings, and we have some special guests with us today. And Rick, I want to ask you, because you're here, and we can see that there's a campaign that I know you're doing, that there's no one better off without you, just ask Dad. Rick, you had a tragedy in your family and your son. Why don't you share that with us?
It's kind of rough, but 9 years ago, I had come home from work. This is during wrestling season. My son was he was an honor roll student, four-sport athlete, and wrestling was his passion. That's what goes on this time of year. I got home, was getting stuff ready for my daughter was going to graduate. Went in the house. He was talking to his girlfriend on the phone. I asked him what's going on, you know, you all good? And he's like, yep, getting packed for Central Regionals, because he was going to Ohio for Central Regionals from wrestling. Went out to the garage, getting stuff ready, come back in the house and found my son, you know. It's a real rough thing, because men are always taught, don't show your emotions, be strong, you know. And I just want to get it out there that you need to ask for help. It's just, you know, it's okay to talk.
Rick, thank you so much. I know it's difficult to share your story when you lose a loved one like that. And Jeff, this is one of the reasons you got so involved with the whole Be Nice campaign, because you also lost a loved one, your brother. Yeah. And tell us now what you're doing to maybe in honor of him.
Yeah, like Rick, lost a loved one, lost my brother, but we wanted to collaborate with professionals in this industry of mental health, and wanted to bring mental illness awareness and suicide prevention education to the greater West Michigan area. And the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan clearly understands that, and that's their mission, is to provide that education. And it's been a wonderful journey in bringing notice, invite, challenge, and empower. And it's the stop, drop, and roll of mental illness. It's that simple. When you engage in it and you dedicate yourself to learn it through the action plan, it's something that you can use for the rest of your life.
So, Rick, now that this is, you know, how are you involved with the program?
Like a couple of guys that were on the bus thing with me, they're people that I met and reached out to after they lost loved ones. You know, that's what I try to do now, is just help people and families that have lost, you know, because of what I went through. My goal is to get this education to be a required part of the curriculum in the schools.
It's so important. You know, you're absolutely right. It's amazing what we teach our boys and our girls differently, and not to show them what to be strong, but those emotions have to come out. And that's something, Christy, that I know that you're constantly working with, not just in the schools, but in businesses, that we need to tell people how we feel, and we need to notice if there's something going on. Tell me what maybe some of the signs are.
So when somebody is extremely sad, distant, not socializing, giving up favorite things that they used to do, sometimes even it can be extreme happiness. So it can be the opposite. So someone goes from being depressed to being really happy, because at that point there may be a plan. We know men hold a higher suicide rate, and boys, and so this is why I appreciate help from Jeff and from Rick and all these dads to understand that we need to simplify how we talk about our emotions and how our feelings. And it's really important that we recognize these signs and symptoms. So it is to notice, to invite, to challenge, empower, and we mean it. It is not just about a bully prevention program. This is about changing lives. It's about having a conversation. For Brandon, no, we do not know what brought about this impulsivity of him wanting to take his life, but we know that if we have a conversation, we make sure that we talk about suicide, we're not afraid to talk about this, that we can save and change lives.
Rick, did you notice any signs that maybe...
None at all. You know,
Yeah.
it hit me like a brick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know, Rick, I'm sorry, Jeff, you did notice some things that now you can look back and say, wow, I did see some of the things Christy was talking about.
Yeah, we certainly noticed the signs of depression. But this is something, particularly this time of year when in the holidays,
Right.
where the families come together, and this is the time to take notice, because it really is it's a very silent disease, and it needs to be picked up by those that are closest to those that are suffering, and those are family members. So this is a time to notice before we get into the season, where really the springtime is when
Right.
the high rate of completed suicides really happens.
So, Christy, there's a way for people to get involved. You got an event coming up in the spring.
We got a lot of stuff
Okay.
going on, and we just want everybody to follow us on Facebook and go to our website. But in May, it's Stomp Out Stigma. This is our 14th year,
Wow.
and we want to really load the streets with walkers this year to eradicate and stomp out stigma. So this is a time where people who have lost loved ones to suicide come on and do a team in honor and in memory of your loved one. Make this a reality, and let's just go. So we had about 1,500 people last year. We would like to break the 2,000 mark.
right.
Like any illness, just like the guys are saying, this is a silent illness, and if people gather together and really talk about it, we could eradicate that.
And
So-
I know right now, too, holidays, you are visible in the malls. Tell us about the
Yes,
kiosks.
we are. We've been staffed and just loaded with tons of volunteers manning a kiosk over at Rivertown Crossings Mall. People are constantly wanting the gear, and they want to wear it, because when you wear it, then you can talk about what it actually means with an action plan. And following the holidays, we're pretty pumped. Jeff at Elhart Automotive Campus, they are carrying our merchandise along with Aunt Candy's and Spirit Dreams and Francis J. If anyone else out there who has apparel, clothing in their shops wants to carry some, we are so flexible, and we are more than willing to have you on board.
Well, thank you so much for coming in, Rick and Jeff. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate that, and hope it helps someone else out there watching right now.